Hi YouTube, welcome back to my channel. I wanted to talk quickly about the two items that I purchased about a week ago from the Uemura Shupette, Ma Shupette collection by Karl Lagerfeld. And these are the first items I've ever bought by way of makeup from Uemura. I have bought their cleansing oil, which I liked in the past, but thought was a bit expensive. I liked other similar products more. I have been getting into Asian cosmetics a little bit more recently, and the decisive factor was that this collection was the rather twee but irresistible collaboration with Karl Lagerfeld, featuring his cat, who is called Shupette, spelt Chou pet rather than the Uemura Shupette of the collection. But there is Shupette, drawn as I understand it by Karl Lagerfeld, who is said to use Uemura eye pencils to draw some of his designs. Quite why he would do that, I don't know. But that's the reason for this, no doubt, lucrative collaboration. Anyway, I was suckered in by the little pussycat to get a couple of items from the collection, which is showing in the UK at the moment exclusively at Selfridges. I don't know whether other stores will have it in due course. Now, the primary item is a much bigger palette with 8, I think, shadows and either 3 or 4 lip colours. It's a very pretty palette, and it comes in a furry case with little ears and blue eyes like Shupette, which was just a bit too much for me, as was the 129 price tag. So I tossed up between the two smaller eye palettes. This one, I don't know whether they have, no, they don't have names. This is just called the number 2 trio. The number 1 was blues, so it had, I think, a white or an ivory and a light and dark blue shade, which I can understand the thinking behind it because it's meant to mirror Chupette's beautiful blue eyes, but I don't really use blue eyeshadow that much. I've certainly got enough for my needs. So although I wouldn't generally be attracted to this colour combination, which looked a bit stark and primary to me, this was what I was left with. And I swatched them at the counter and kind of gave in, even though this is quite a pricey little trio. It's £30 for these 3 little pans. I don't know how much product there is here. 3 times 1 gram. No, yeah, 1 gram, so not that much. It is a dinky palette. She did show me that it is reusable. Now, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do this. This little bit at the end, I don't want to bust the colour, but no, I'm not doing very well here. This bit at the end is supposed to come off. There we go. So you could insert other colours into your pan, which I suppose is a selling point if you can get it off a bit more readily than I did there. The colours are quite soft. There's a very, I would say, creamy ivory, not too yellow toned. Swatches as a nice highlight colour. And I wasn't sure about this pink, which you can see slightly less buttery, and that does show up very pink, although it bleeds out a little on the hand. And then this kind of aubergine, very buttery, nice, looks kind of more brown, coppery on the skin, and blends out very nicely indeed. Now, the thing that I would say is, and I'm getting used to this with Japanese cosmetics generally, you can layer these and very much change the colour by doing that. So, blending out the different colours, you can get very different intensities. And on the eye, that's even more obvious. So I still wasn't that convinced by this palette, but I have worn it 3 or 4 times now, and I will say yesterday when I wore that colour topped with that below the brow, I got 2 compliments for my makeup yesterday, which is unheard of for me. And the other thing is that I wore it all day without a primer, but with a plain cream colour underneath, and there wasn't a wrinkle or crease in sight. So they are good quality shadows, and they do wear well, as indeed they should for that price. So I am actually quite pleased that I got this. I will use this little palette. It is dinky to put in your handbag, very easy to cart around. And then the other item that I was kind of more at peace with buying at the time was this blush. Again, Shupette, very sweetly on the pot. Bit more product for your buck here. Can I see how much? Not easy to read these. 4.4 grams. And this was in, it's just called Pink Silk Cushion Cheek Blush. They did a coral as well, which was a bit too orangey for me. I've used this quite a lot. Very silky, almost cushiony texture. Really love the feel of it. Very pigmented, but easy to work out and blend out to give just a very pretty flush with a bit of pearl to it. So if you like very matte cheek colours, this may not be for you. But as cream blushes go, and I'm not a huge fan of cream blushes, even though they do usually last better than powder, I would rate this slightly higher than the Chanel ones, which I also have, and I find quite hard to work with. I certainly can't blend with my fingers Chanel. I need to use a duo fibre brush and be very careful how much product I apply. This is much more workable, and I think this costs £22, so not cheap, but not that much more than the MAC blushes, for example. So if you want to buy into the Shupette gimmick, that's probably a good way to go. The other products, there's the famous eyelash curlers at £20, and they are really good eyelash curlers. And they've just got a kind of little pendant hanging off one of the rings with Chupette's portrait. I don't know how practical that is for you to use day in, day out, but if you're looking for eyelash curlers and you wanted Chupette, that might be a good buy. There's an astronomically priced at £75 bumper bottle of the cleansing oil with Chupette's picture on. I'm not sure I recommend that. Quite a glittery face powder. Quite pretty if you were in the market. I'm not sure I'd use it on the face, but would be quite nice dusted on shoulders and body for party time at Christmas. I don't know how much that was. And there are some pencils with little paw marks on them. So it's quite a big collection. It is pricey, but as I say, I've actually been more impressed with the products than I expected to be. And so it isn't a big regret for me, and I won't be having to sell these on. I will actually be using them. So that's my take on ma Chupette from a cat lady here who also loves makeup. It's a marriage made in cosmetic heaven. So I'll speak to you soon. Bye for now.